Toronto and Mississauga. I'm based in Oakville, which is just outside of Toronto. I started with REIC and obtained my CPM designation in 2008. And then after that, I received my real estate license. So I went for my FRI designation. So yeah, no, it's great. I'm looking forward to some conferences coming up. I believe the next one's in Edmonton next year, I believe. So looking forward to that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Everybody talk about their own functionalities, and because I have a lots of president, ex-president, and a past president involved, they're going to give us their update. So, Stephen, 1 minute introduction yourself. Who Stephen is? So.
Wow. Okay, that's fast. So thank you very much for having me, Tahir, and a hello and a warm welcome to everyone. I can probably see Ken out my window. I'm in Oakville as well with the snow. So hello, Ken. Hello to everyone else. I've been with REIC for about 18 months and look forward to our conversation today.
Wonderful. Vincent Chan, please.
Hi, I'm Winston Chen, FRI CLES. I've been with REIC forever, I guess, past president for Toronto chapter and also past national president. I work for a developer in Toronto. We focus on building high-rise condominium.
Wonderful. John Bowen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to put my FRI hat on today. In addition to being a certified property manager, I'm also a realtor with Realty Executives Plus. Primarily servicing the Greater Toronto area. I've been licensed for over 25 years, specialize in commercial, but also do referrals across Canada for residential clients. And that's where I'm hoping to connect with a few folks on the line here today.
All right, next, I don't have a site office, please. I don't have a name here. So could you please go ahead, introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Gaetan True. I'm with Osgood Properties, and I've been an ARM since 2019 with REIC. We manage multiple residential places here in Ottawa. We got Gatineau, Calgary, Toronto, and also some properties in the south of US, like Florida, Tampa, and those places. And I've been with Osgood for about 7 years, and I'm enjoying every little bit of it. So nice
Wonderful.
to have you all here today.
Welcome very much. Now, Andrew LeBlanc, please forgive me. Go ahead.
That was as close as people have gone to my name in a very long time, so I appreciate the effort. It's Pierre-Andre. You can just call me Pierre. It makes things a lot easier. So I'm a CPM candidate. I expect to have my designation in June. I've been working in property management in Ottawa for the last 10 years, 10, 15 years. We have a property management firm called X Living that focuses on multifamily in the downtown core and a lot of student housing as well. So I'm just here to learn and meet some people and soak it all in, and appreciate you guys taking the time to put this together.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome. We're going to ask Franco Falbo 1 minute to introduce yourself, sir.
Thanks, Tahir. Franco Falbo, I'm with Manulife Investment Management and also the current president of the REIC IRM Ottawa chapter. And I'd like to welcome some of my Ottawa members that are here. And Osgood's actually one of our biggest chapter members too. I think we're about 25 members with Osgood. So it's a long time family, Greenberg family. So there's Kim. Hi, Kim. So yeah, good. Thanks to Tahir for the invite, and then John for suggesting that. I appreciate it, my friend. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Thank you very much. The goal is to connect everybody together because we are one REIC family across Canada. And I will give you a little bit of objective about Realty Coffee Talk, why I started this. I actually became a member of REIC and FRI and CRES, and I thought there was a need for connectivity, and this is a continued effort for several years now. So I'm going to ask Fabio Fumiana. He's president-elect for Toronto chapter. Please introduce yourself for 1 minute, please.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Fabio Fiumana. Make note of that here.
Okay.
Fiumana.
That's what I call Fabio all the time.
I am I will be the new president for the Toronto chapter of REIC. It's an honor. It's something that John kind of pushed me into the various roles I've occupied with the chapter, and I have not regretted one moment of it. I'm a commercial real estate broker. Our company does a lot of property management. I say about 60% of our business is property management. So I'm fairly well versed on both sides of the coin. And having been a tenant representative, I kind of add that to the mix. It's a pleasure to be here. I think this is a great program to hear. I'm so glad to hear of you getting everybody together. I'm not going to bust your ears about Realty Corner. It is something that's going to happen May 13. I'm going to let Tahir tell you about it.
Thank you very much. Now, Kim Morrison, could you please introduce yourself? 1 minute, please.
Hi, Kim Morrison. I'm also from Osgood Properties. Been in residential mainly for the last 20 some years. So just kind of looking forward to hearing what everyone has to say and kind of meeting everyone at the same time.
Okay, before I begin and give you a small presentation, and then I'm going to start the conversation, because our national president, Stephen Ashworth, CEO, he will be leaving shortly. So I'm going to ask him to tell us about national activity and program, what is going on at the national level. So all our REIC members are aware of their activities and efforts. So Stephen, go ahead. This program is being recorded, and once everything is recorded, it will be uploaded on YouTube, and then it will be shared on REIC and FRI connectivity and other social network. Stephen.
Okay, thank you very much, Tahir, and thank you for allowing me to join you all today. It's not just a great pleasure, but I think what is important to frame is that connectivity, and I'd like to speak to that later on as I go through some of what I would think are important opportunities to talk about. I think this will probably be most engaging if, as I go through the different points, that if you do have questions or you want to ask me a specific question, I certainly will try to answer it. And if I don't have the answer, I'll either get that answer to you, but I won't make it up. So let's talk about FRIs to begin with, because I think that's first and foremost. And some of you have been actively involved. And one of the things that has struck me since joining REIC is the power of the brand. And that is what really we're doing, is we're actually looking at not just with FRIs, but with also our other designations. And for those of you who've been involved with REIC much longer than I have, you already know that. But it's also important that we don't keep this a secret. And yesterday, there was a FRI posting on Facebook for Mr. Rob Burton. And I'll read it. It says the FRI designation is acknowledged as a standard of excellence and accomplishment, and only 527 have achieved this status, 1 in 209 agents. Congratulations, Rob, on this amazing achievement. And that's the power of that brand, to be able to see something that's what I see as full circle and full cycle. What that really means is that individuals have recognized the power of the FRI brand. They've been enrolled in the courses. They've obtained their designation. Obviously, they're spending their hard-earned money, especially during COVID times. And they're actually going back to the brokerage that actually has supported them. And the brokerage is using it as an opportunity to promote the individual as well as themselves. And that's a great thing. I think what's important is that we continue to evolve the FRI brand. So last year, we actually, there'd been a lot of great work done on the FRI brand, and the task force was re-engaged. And I think that Dr. Hafiza Bassarella has done a wonderful job with the support of those individuals who committed to the FRI brand. She mapped out a phase 1 and 2, just to keep it simple. And in the phase 1, which was completed last year for the FRI brand, and I don't have all the details, but I had suggested to hear at a later time, there might be a walkthrough of where we've been what has been completed and where we are going. And that's the vision of you who are FRIs that have said, this is important. So last year, a needs assessment was conducted, and that allowed for identifying what they call core competencies. And this is where in most instructional programs, and I have a background also in education, we look at core competencies to make sure that they can be utilized in an effective, efficient, and standardized way that across not just in a province or a country, but in the world. And that becomes important because that means that you've got a transportable skill, a skill that others will recognize, that will continue to evolve. So phase one was completed last year. Phase two programming, phase two will focus on the program development. And that target date is 2022. Again, more of the details would be something that Hafiza could share with you. So in terms of the FRI programming and task force, this has certainly been a very revealing and I think important opportunity for us to up the ante with that whole designation, that brand being recognized, as I just shared with you with one of the agents obtaining their designation. But more importantly, last year, as we all know, COVID caused us to have to look at our programming in a very different with a very different lens. That lens allowed us to say, okay, we've been doing face-to-face for all these years. And when we talk about networking, as we are today in this Zoom call, I think we're, as human beings, we are drawn to each other to be able to have that personal interaction. We all know how to utilize tools. We know how to effectively navigate around the computer, but it isn't the same thing. It isn't an opportunity for us to, share the body language that we would normally have and enjoy each other's company, break bread, have a coffee, have a libation, whatever it is. So last year we had to pivot and we had to move forward with moving to online. And while for many organizations, this is something they've been doing for years, that was not the case with REIC. I'm going to go back to the power of the brand. We were very fortunate that it was a seamless transition. And I can say that because I know what our numbers and financials say. And that was important because despite all the demands that are placed upon those professionals out there, they still renewed their membership. They still took courses. Brokerages still promoted the opportunities and recognized the importance of this designation. So that is sort of, I'll just pause there. I wanted to talk about strategic planning chapters, but I don't know if you have any questions that you'd like to ask about the FRI. I do have two other areas that I wanted to touch on if possible.
Okay, so participant, feel free to ask any question to Stephen about FRI or any program that you have any questions.
Stephen,
So,
I agree that we need exposure. We need to be recognized. I think FRI is a great designation. It covers a lot of areas. It covers business, it covers real estate, it covers legal practices. I think we need to make that available, or at least known, to people that are studying to be accountants, to people who in law school. I think we need to expand our targets, our net, to include younger people. That's one of the problems that we have nowadays. There's a bunch of us, and we are tried and true warriors, but we are old warriors. We need to have new people, and perhaps there may be something that we can do as far as facilitating the financial burden that a lot of the newer applicants are looking at. Okay. I don't know whether the institute has an opportunity or the ability to perhaps have fees paid in three amounts, in three allotments. The third right away, the second when you start taking the courses, and the last one a month after you finish your courses or designation. Maybe we can facilitate that. I know that students are always broke. At least I was when I was a student.
Fabio, the question, we asked the question, okay? Ask the question what you want to hear from Stephen.
Yeah. What are the steps to make the brand more known to those target groups?
Thank you, Fabio, for the question. Absolutely. In our strategic plan, there is the focus on making sure that both in chapter networking, but also the outreach to those younger students that you refer to. Last year, we started going down this road, Fabio. We approached one of the universities to have a cohort attend our conference to basically showcase what we're all about, because sometimes it's difficult for someone to make that commitment, as you said, to take courses. And I had a discussion with the associate dean there. And what was important is for them to recognize that students are going to choose wisely. I have two students who are two daughters in university right now, and their electives, are going to be, they have to understand the value of why they would take something. And there's a lot of choice out there. So that was one of the discussions. Last year, despite we had to cancel the conferences face-to-face because of COVID, we did actually get a commitment through one of the universities, McEwen, for 14 students to attend the conference. And I think that was just an example. We have to have this filter on everything we do. Fabio, you also raised a really important point. I see myself as the outsider looking in sometimes. My wife's a realtor of 15 years, but I'm not. And when she attends conferences, I often ask, what do you hear about, REIC? And I know she attended a conference about a year and a half ago, and there were 2,000 people there. There was no mention. And I said, that's not acceptable. So we've got to do something. And I know that's, one of the reasons Tahir hosts these opportunities. We need to be able to strategically find ways to infiltrate, and I mean that in a good way, into the brokerages. And that's one of the reasons, and property management and leasing as well, and commercial leasing. And we're doing that through some of our corporate outreach, which doesn't just mean commercial. And that's one of the foci in our strategic plan. In terms of students, that filter is on in virtually everything we're doing. I'm in touch with the Alberta Real Estate Foundation, and also looking at ways of sponsoring students again, so they can attend. And this can be applied perhaps to other areas, including courses and designations.
Stephen, I have a question for you. I'd like to know how much funds are allocated for marketing for FRI, introduction to consumer, as well as to the realtors. How much funds are allocated for that purpose?
Tahir, that's a great question. I don't know if I could tell you that off the top of my head because it's not specific to FRI. It's actually for the educational department and portfolio we talked about. Certainly something that I could find out. I think in terms of the dollar amount, it's, we run an operating budget of, just over $2 million. So we're not talking about a lot of money in terms of marketing spend in total, not just for FRIs. But I actually see I've always been, I've never been inhibited by a budget. It's about, how we leverage others to access our opportunities. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I know Hafiz is working with Rotman right now from doing a mentoring program and looking at a pilot. And that's how we'll actually be able to get some of the opportunities into the system and industry, because we would never have a big enough budget to do this. But I actually see being able to leverage through other industries and opportunities.
So Stephen, since you say it first, I won't get into trouble. You will be getting into trouble first. So I'm actually one of the pilot tests for the mentoring program. Hafiz did a great job connect me with the dean of the MBA who in charge of the mentoring program, and immediately matched me up with MBA student with Rotman. So he just sent me his resume, and we just I'm excited to be part of the pilot program, to be mentoring some of the MBA students, so that for sure, my part is definitely to promote REIC and the value, as Stephen said. Like we've been trying this for many years, and Tahir, John, you all know about it. So, and I think this is an exciting step. So since Stephen meant it first, I didn't. So I'm part of the pilot program, Chibit. So far, the connection's been great. The MBA students quite excited. In my work, I also participate in a similar mentoring program in Sulik School of Business, but the U of T managed program is dear to my heart because that's where I got my degree from. So I think that's little step, as Stephen mentioned. I think to me, although it's a small step, but to me it's a big step for REIs to connect it with Rodman School of Business.
Okay.
That's great. That's really good. But I guess part of my question also was, can we help these students financially to become members, to take courses, to get into our profession? Can we give them a break on our fees?
I think, Fabio, it's absolutely something we've got to focus in on. I think when we talk about chapters, I think, Franco, I'll just mention when we attended your AGM the other day, you had, I believe, 5 new directors who, to me, seemed quite young. And I was quite taken with that. And I know we have an aging demographic. You know that better than I do. And so it absolutely has to be one of the opportunities that we look to, and one of the strategic priorities that we have to focus in on. And we have to be able to point to that. We have to be able to say, what's the tangible? So cost is one, Fabio.
Yep.
Accessibility is another. Mentoring is another opportunity. And that whole connectivity, apprenticeship opportunities, all of these are, multi-pronged approach, and allows us to actually be able to say, it's not going to be one particular avenue, and it's not going to be specific in one geographic area. So I think, that should be something that last year we did a survey engaging chapters, and I want to make sure we have time for that as well. Because I think that's where we need to actually extend our reach and have that collective, thought process as to how do we do this, financially. But as I said, I'm not so worried about the financial. I think there's an opportunity there for us to identify the outreach and what this looks like. How does a chapter do its, some of the chapters are doing incredible jobs too. So Fabio, I think I would hold that thought and say, yeah, we need to be able to address that, and we need to be able to articulate what it is that we're doing.
Okay, Stephen, I have a last question for you, because I think you're going to be leaving for a meeting very soon.
That's right.
What efforts the National is making to engage the existing members to ensure that they are connected, they're not dropping out, they're not disappointed or disengaged? The purpose of this Realty Coffee Talk is connectivity, to engage them and educate them about the program that you just mentioned today, and also Vincent has mentioned. So idea again is to engage those members. They're already there. It takes not much effort to engage and educate members than creating another FRI or a member. Require tremendous efforts. So what effort National is doing it? So you have 1 minute. I believe you will be leaving soon.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
just
So
watching on the clock.
that's okay. The timer is going. So in our strategic plan, we were very fortunate with the incredible engagement of chapters who we had a tremendous response. It exceeded normal response rates when we went out to our membership in our chapters. And that was important because it helped inform what we need to do. Specifically to your question to here, one of the areas was, okay, what's this connectivity and support for chapters? One thing that I was struck by when I joined REIC, and I've been in this space before and sensitive to it, is there was no designated resource for chapters. So that found its way into our strategic plan. And we have identified that a resource has to be actually applied to this. Jack Brooks joined us in January of this year. He's the director of operations and technology. And while it's not solely for chapters, it allows us to look at risk mitigation for chapters and national office, membership connectivity. He sits on the virtual committee for chapters. And I think that that's important to, as well as a number of other members who sit on that. Ron Fraser is the chair. And it looks at some of those members who are outside the chapter network. There's about 300 that are not formally attached to chapters. And that just shouldn't be. I mean, people are paying chapter dues or they want to be having a network that's engaging. We also have a contingency down in the Bahamas. of 30 designations down there that we really haven't worked with in the past. So we're looking forward to reconnecting with individuals. And I think this virtual chapter will really help support that and will also help bring our membership closer together to here.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And if anybody has any question, he has to leave. We got 2 more minutes. I think he has to leave. So if anybody has a question, yes, go ahead, Ken.
So is your wife an FRI, Stephen?
No, she's not.
See,
Not
I
yet.
think there's a big problem. See, I don't think the brand is that strong. With the property management section, you know, the CPMs and, you know, there's very strong, you know, it's very strong in the industry. But I think, yeah, we really need to do something to build up the reputation in the real estate industry. But you know, if you got to go, it's you know, we can discuss further again soon.
Ken, that is the focus of this connectivity conference to FRI in real estate. Real Estate Institute of Canada is about real estate, but we have IREM, which is a very powerful institution. We're together as a family, but focus hour is real estate, FRI, CLO, or whatever.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
is
Yeah,
why
that's-
I've been focusing on.
Yeah, and
I
just one
agree- I
last
agree with
thing.
Ken. I think
Yeah.
I think we need some more exposure. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some universities that are giving doctorates and degrees to public figures, to presidents of the United States, and at the same time, they get a lot of limelight. Maybe we should think about a program like that.
Yeah, and you know, one last thing, just a quick comment before you go, Stephen, is I think just getting into the brokerages, every brokerage has a weekly meeting. And now that it's typically on Zoom, we should have someone from REIC National, some staff, do a presentation, say, hey, we're giving $100 discount, you know, for, you know, your brokerage if you sign up, because they've done it in the past in my brokerage, and about 100 people signed up. And then it's just one brokerage. That was for certified negotiation expert. So, you know, if we just get someone into these weekly meetings, and start with the biggest brokerages, we could grow 2,000 members in 1 year, guaranteed.
That's a very good point.
And then that would help. That would help our budget, and that would just help our brand, help our awareness.
Okay,
Yeah,
Stephen, we're going to be running out of time for you. So you have 1 minute to tell us what your program, and we're going to have our next conference on 19th of May. And who should we expect to participate from national?
Sorry, which program? You're having a program?
We do this conference once a month.
Yeah.
So next one is on 19th of May at 11 a.m. So who should we expect to give us an update from national? You and any other staff that want to join us?
Here's what I would suggest. I do have to leave for a meeting, but what I would suggest is that amongst yourselves, what is it that you need to hear more about? What is the most valuable thing? What is the top priority? Ken, you raised some great points, and I wish I had more time to tell you about our new webinar series and the Home Trust and others who are starting to engage. And I think that's something else. You know, we have corporate outreach, which might be of interest, and or our educational programming. So I'll leave that with you to decide instead of me deciding. Our goal is to provide you with what it is that you need to have answers to. I'm only a phone call away or an email away. That's how Tahir gets in touch with me. And I'd be delighted to chat with you more. I know all of you bring vast amounts of expertise and history, and I look to you for, you know, some of that guidance and direction. Thank you.
REIC is the best kept secret in the world, and we want to explore that, and we want to open up this a little bit, this you know, potential that it created since 1955. I was 2 years old when this unit REIC was created, and I'm a very proud member of REIC as FRI, CRES. So thank you very much, Stephen. On behalf of all the participants, we thank you, and we look forward to see you on next 19th of May in our third conference on FRI. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to do a small presentation about the market update. Then we're going to talk about the chapter. We have few presidents. They will give us a little update about the chapter. And so allow me to give you a small presentation for the market. So first of all, you have seen that sign, welcome to Connectivity Conference for FRI. This is strictly for FRI, means real estate or CLOs. What is Realty Coffee Talk? The goal of Realty Coffee Talk is to create connectivity, to increase awareness, building consumer confidence in real estate, and promote good ethic and business practices. This is the goal of the Realty Coffee Talk. The objective of this conference, the Connectivity Conference, this is my second conference, get to know each other. This is very important for us, the FRIs, to connect each other, build long-term relationship between us, and also facilitate business opportunity and collaboration. So when we are FRIs, we don't need any verification of integrity business practices. We are all leaders, expert in our field. And if we have when we build a personal relationship, we can do more business with each other. This is again. So the word is in your hands. FRI is a powerful designation that have a network of real estate professionals across Canada, only available to REIC members. My goal is to ignite the spirit of connectivity and cooperation with an FRI connectivity network. That's the goal. It's more confident to refer because we feel more confidence when we are doing referral to each other. This is why I'm going to show you why FRI is more important. Look at this. You have 110,000 realtors in Canada. FRI in March, we have 527. And as of today, we have 531 FRI. So we have an increase of 4 more FRIs from March to April. Ontario, we have 90,000 realtors and 301 FRI when I did the last episode, and now there are 302. So we have only one more in April in Ontario. These are the statistics from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, detached home, if you have not seen it. 416 detached home is 1.75 million each, and average price for 905 area is 1.32, which includes Brampton, probably Oshawa, Mississauga, Milton, all those areas. These are the average prices between the 905 area. Sami is 1.28 million in Toronto, and 905 is 932,000 for Sami. And obviously, when you're looking for details, you're going to check on to verify the community and location, any specific property, but this is just an average. And townhome is 960,000 in Toronto, 416 area, and 846,000 in 905. Condo apartment, 707. It doesn't talk about 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. It just gives you an average price. And your sales are up, as you can see from there, for the detached of 1,450 to 6,127. 905 is picking up because cost of housing value in Toronto is going up in 416 area. So people are moving toward 905 area. Same thing, average price, detached year over year change. Can you believe it? And 416 is 19.2% from last March to this March, and 31.4% from last March to this March in 905 area. For semi-detached, 11.5%, and 905, 20.6% semi-detached. Townhome, 15% from last March to this March in 416, and 22.6% for 905 area. And condo was minus 0.75. As Vincent pointed out, there are lots of deals that are done. They're not on MLS, especially with Tridel. And those are not reflected in this report. So this could not be accurate, but it shows what has been put in the MLS system with a tram. And 13.5% is a condo increase in 905 area. And you can see trap sale in March 2020, 7,945 sale, and now 15,652 in March 21. Imagine almost 97%. We're going to go to the next chart. I show you the figure. So March, and then average price, March 2020, 902,787. It has gone to 1,097,565. This is average on 905 and 416 combined. And this is available on TRAP website. You can check that out. And this is overall year over year. So in sales, 2020, we did 7,945. This year we did March 15,650, 97% increase in sale. Unbelievable. The new listing, 14,434. And we have a now 22,709, 57.3% increase. But listing, active listing is minus 10,676 in 2020 and 10,603. So we are minus. And average price increased 21.6%, 905 and 416 area. These are generic information, average information. Prices you have to check for location, type of the property, condition of the property, characteristic, and other features. So you, when you're listing or selling, you can do the CMA. It's just to give you average. So this is about me. You can Google about me. We have, REIC has a 10 chapter, 8 chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chapters, and national office. And each one, we are hoping that they will connect with us and give us an update on our subsequent conferences. So Stephen has already spoken, so I have him now. We're going to talk about chapter activities. So all chapters are allowed to join, and I'm going to allow, oh God.
Tahir, I have a question about what you just talked about. You had active listings and new listings. I don't remember the exact.
Yes. Yes.
What's the difference?
Active listing are, as they're entering the market, they're entering it, but they're going out.
I don't follow.
Okay. The listing they are showing is what they have. Let me see. I can reverse the slide.
I can answer that, Fabio.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
So your new listings total less your sales will equal what is left as active remaining. So it's kind of like absorption.
Okay.
Think of it that way.
It's an absorption. I get you. I understand.
Because there are quite a few more feet. I just picked up the information because what we have left over at that end of March and in end of April. And
No, I understand. I just did not understand. I just did not know the difference between active and new listings. So, but what John said makes sense.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go back, and I'm going to ask John. So this is our next meeting on May 19. So I'm going to cut this off and stop the sharing. So John and Fabio, both of you can update us what's going on in Toronto chapter, and then we'll ask anybody else from other chapters who are present to give us update. John.
I'm going to give John the word. I'm writing my speech for the 28th. John is very much in touch with everything that has been going on. The only thing I want to say is that we have a guest for Realty Corner on the 13th of May, John Crombie. Very, very interesting broker. We've decided to start talking to brokers and getting them to participate since we have so many brokers within our membership. But John, go ahead. You are going to be talking about nominations and everything else.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit off script here because a lot of people are here from the Toronto chapter. So we'll have our annual general meeting on April the 28th, where we will cover a lot of this information and certainly welcome everyone to join, as well as I want to do a shout out to our friends at the Ottawa chapter. Thank you guys very much for joining as a guest of the Toronto chapter here. Appreciate that. there's one chap I don't think you'll get to hear, I'm sure, and can introduce himself. But I really like the fact that we get people from different areas and learn about, different parts of the country, what is happening. And the one sidebar I'm going to throw out at you, just for discussion purposes, is, a study from the OECD data about growth in Canadian real estate prices over the last 20 years, has been 170%, to 2020. So that's probably, at closer to 180 or 190% now with what's happened in the last year, which works out to about a 9% increase per year. And the interesting part of this stat is that compared to the next closest countries, they are only at 95%, which is about half of what Canadian real estate prices have increased. And the US isn't even in the top 3. So there's a huge gap between the US and Canada in real estate price increases. So what I want to throw out for discussion, if we have time to hear, is that begs a question about the Canadian dream. How will our kids afford $1 million or $1.5 million single family detached home like our parents did, which would require, anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000 down payment? I'd love to hear, from the Ottawa folks, do you foresee the same thing there as in Toronto? Toronto's like, and Vancouver, are out of control. Maybe Ottawa's not that bad, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're going to be
If I can.
inviting all chapters to tell us their
Okay.
activities. The purpose is to have activities, then we'll have a general discussion toward the particular issue about, because I was going to talk about the OFSI rules, the new rules that are coming up, impact on real estate, and also lockdown in Ontario. Those are general topics that we want to talk about it. And affordability, which is a good point. So John, if you don't have any other activities that you want to talk about Toronto chapter, then we can move.
We'll cover that off at our AGM meeting on April 28th.
If you don't mind, I would like to hear the answer about the Ottawa market.
I will.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thanks, Fabio, and Tahir, and John, thanks again. And hi to Ken and Winston also. Ken, happy birthday. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Ken.
29 now. So I wanted to thank my Ottawa members for being here. Gaetan, Pierre, Kim also, and I saw Ian's there, and I'll let Ian, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe you're going to be the best guy to do the Ottawa market, as Fabio asked. And we do have, like Steven said, actually, we did have our AGM. So we do have 5 new directors. 2 of them are here, Kim from Osgood, and then Pierre-Andre also.
Great.
Again. And Ian is our, I think Pierre-Andre you don't have, but Ian is definitely our FRI. And if you don't mind, Ian, can I get you to say a few words? You're with RE/MAX, right, if I recall? So maybe you can give a little quick Ottawa, because Ottawa, John, is booming also, and I agree with you.
Yes.
Kids. But
that's what I'm curious.
We have 900,000. Gaetan sure knows Pierre-Andre.
Yeah, we have a big influence insofar as people moving out of the core. So please, I'm sorry, Ian, do go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Ian. And if Kim or Pierre-Andre or Gaetan want to say something, by all means. Thanks.
Go ahead.
I guess my perspective on Ottawa is this is a correction in the market, and we saw it in 2000, 2001, 2002, where there was double-digit increases. And I know there's a lot of talk about how everything is crazy and unsustainable and bubble and all that, but we had the same thing 20 years ago. So I'm not overly concerned. I think we'll be up 20% by this time next year. And if you look around Ottawa, like every surface parking lot downtown has an approved plan of condominium just waiting. The LRT is going to, in 20 years, is going to have 147 stations. There's community design plans going up all over the place. My perspective is we're seeing a growth in Ottawa like we haven't seen since the earlier mid 70s when Canada was built.
Right.
And it's just the city becoming a city. I kind of remember Alan Fotheringham, you know, the town that fun forgot. maybe we'll have some fun.
Yeah, I've done a lot of business in Ottawa, and I remember that geographically, you more or less have a ring with the experimental farms around the core of the city, and then everything is on the outside, Canada, Richmond, and all of those areas.
Yeah, that's the green belt. You're right, the NCC.
Yeah.
And now we're starting with the gold belt, another belt around to contain suburban sprawl.
Right.
And the whole push, the whole new draft official plan to encourage infill development. And in many downtown neighborhoods, they're proposing 4-story development, which is getting a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
So you know, people should protect their neighborhoods, but it is a city, and it really is becoming a city. So we're having this major increase in value. Have we caught up with Toronto, Vancouver, or Ireland? Probably not yet.
Okay.
So we're still a pretty good deal here.
What's your average price for a detached and a semi-detached and a condo?
That's a good question. I mean, I deal more in sort of sub-markets. And I know the downtown core, the Glebe, the Glebe kind of area is probably around 950 right now. But the overall in Ottawa is probably, you know, just under 7. I don't know that for sure.
It's around 7. Maybe Gaetan,
fair enough.
You can, I think it's around 7, you're right, Ian?
Yeah, I would say around that as well. It's definitely the market. I agree with Ian. The market has grown a lot in Ottawa. A lot is being built. Again, our city is growing more and more. The last couple of years, of course, the economy has been very, very good to us. So,
yeah.
And like Ian says, where the green belt is gone, now we're going into the gold belt because we're running out of space. So now we've only got the south to develop, and that's developing quickly. Again, site plans are coming up everywhere. I'm in the Rockcliffe area, and all these little homes that have been here since the 50s are now site plans for apartment buildings. We even have a church down the street that's becoming a condominium. So condos, multi-residential, low-rise kind of combination. And yeah, the market is growing in what I read. Definitely the sales of homes have increased drastically. What the children of our days are going to do, they're going to do the same as what our parents did. Some will be able to afford it and some won't. So it all depends on their jobs and their careers, I should say, and where they tend to want to be in the future. So again, it's an individual decision, but we certainly have seen this city grown and continues to grow. And my judgment on that, I don't see it going down anytime in the next 3 years. I think it's going to be booming.
Yeah, so, I tend to agree with you. There's a stability in employment, people, and then money is really cheap. So that means that everybody's going to want to buy or move into a house, into their own place. For people that don't know the market, the inner core of Ottawa is comparable to our 416. Then you have more or less a ring, which is the farms and the green belt. Outside of that is comparable to our 905 insofar as market activities. And beyond that, you're probably talking about the 519. That's more or less the way things balanced in Ottawa. Ottawa is also a great market. It has been used as a test market by a number of retailers.
And we're a government town too, so you know that helps.
Yeah, well, precisely.
Stability, right?
Yeah.
Franco and Ian, we're going to ask you guys, because this is the first time you are participating, so we're going to ask you to prepare a small presentation, just similar to what I did for Ottawa for the next time, because this is the first time you came in. I'd like to get the report from all the participants, and so you can share the data with all of us. Similarly, I'm going to ask other chapters to share the information with us. There was a good point that John and Fabio raised about Ottawa. It's hot market right now in real estate everywhere, no matter where you go. So we're going to ask you guys to prepare that for the next small presentation for us. I have new members also who will join us, Barbara Morris. Barbara, can you turn on your camera and also your mic, please? And also I found some other gentlemen who have joined us, and I want to make sure everybody who has participated introduce themselves to all of us so we know who
Hi,
has
Sam. I know Sam. How's it going? Turn your video on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Barbara. Yes. We can hear.
I'm going to be able to say hello to everyone, and probably the next time when I'm on, I'm going to have you be able to see my beautiful face. But that's a joke, anyways. But that will get your day up and running today. I am now with Tahir, yes, and I'm very comfortable, very happy being with him. He's very knowledgeable, as you all know, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to interact outside of the FRI group that we usually do have. I think on the 28th of this month is what was mentioned. We will be having our FRI meeting, general meeting.
That's the AGM for
the
Toronto
AGM,
chapter.
the AGM. However, I want to say that I would like to continue to interact with you all on an ongoing basis. And thank you so much for having me. And thanks to Tia. He's been a very great inspiration to me and my business. And I look forward to working with him. If anyone wants to make a change, to come to a nice small office, he's the man to talk to. I can guarantee you that you'll be very happy aligning yourself with Tia.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yes.
Is Sam available? Sam, can you introduce yourself? Because I think Fabio recognized him, and I want to make sure that I know too. Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome, and have a wonderful day, all of you, in spite of the little snow.
Is Sam, is he able to come? Well, before we end the program, I'm going to ask Vincent Chan, give us a thought for today. Any thought that you come to your mind that you want to share with FRIs and our REIC family?
Yeah, I think a lot of great friends here too. It's amazing to get to see each other, although it's not physically, but I take the virtual as well too. And there's definitely a lot of wealth of knowledge right here, just here in this particular meeting. Like we can easily give market update in Toronto, Ottawa, and other regions as well too. And I think that's the power of our connectivities. Like we have mentors around the country. If you wanted to know, just like today, market about Ottawa, just a simple phone call, email away. You want to know about the market in Oakville, and Tahir definitely can update you with the West. And for me, I can update you with the new construction industry. So I think, keep up the good work, Tahir. And I think, as I always said before, REIC is networking. REIC is star power. So we kind of continue to network and then grow each other.
Wonderful. John, you want to say something?
Yes, I just have a quick question for Winston.
Yes.
When are you packing up and moving shop to Ottawa with your new office to start
under the
construction
radar
on all those
screen? We
condo
actually under the radar screen we do. Interestingly, our company originally started from Ottawa. There is still. We still manage some of the building here too. The family, the Del Soto family, is also been there as well too. So indirectly, we're still involved.
I did not know that you started in Ottawa. That's a very good
Franco
fun
would know.
fact.
I actually remember that, Winston. Now you mention it, it's true. I remember.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
yes,
ask,
and actually
here.
our current chief operating officer was a property manager in Ottawa, and
Oh,
then
really?
he oversee some of the family properties too there, and then therefore we do have some connection there in Ottawa.
Oh, wow, great. Tahir, you were going to mention something on OSFI or something?
sorry?
OSFI rules or something you were going to mention?
Yes, Ontario, this Office of Superintendent of Financial Institution
Oh,
is creating a new stress test. So it's changing the stress test from 4.79 to 5.25 starting from June 1st. It will create a little bit impact on people, affordability issues, especially for the buyers, because I calculated about, depending on the value of the property, it can affect you 50, 60,000 to $100,000 type of property that you're buying close to $1 million. So
Yeah.
these rules are coming, and that's why because I am also principal broker. I have a mortgage brokerage company because I most do the mentoring education, only commercial or big project. But bank is taking 7 to 10 days to respond to email. To reply to the expert mortgage origination software. Therefore, if you are putting a 5 days term for a residential, forget about it. You're not going to get any response from the banks because they're overloaded. And this is one of these. The other thing is COVID impact lockdown in Ontario. This was one of the important issue. If anybody wants to share that, is really impacting. It's not affecting the real estate. Now, the OFC rule coming into effect by June 1st. Unbelievable. Yesterday, I put an offer for my client. This property listed less than 1.2 million. I offered over 1.36 million for that. And I was not in the top offers. 14 offers in Oakville.
wow.
Unbelievable. And this house needs a $200,000 upgrades. And I'm saying this guy said, if you buy for this 1.36 plus you put $200,000, you can go to any builder to buy a brand new one, close in 2 years from today. It's not worth it. It's only in a small property. I'm talking about Oakville. So this was amazing. And every single offer, we were recently doing some in Belleville area, 10, 15 offers, over 150,000, 200,000. Question that comes to mind, when a property is sold higher, why a realtor list lower to generate this competition? This has to do with the competency or ethics, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody want to share something. If a property sold for $1 million, why would you list for $799?
It's done to invite competing offers.
No,
I don't sell residential, but I know people who sell residential. They underlist to oversell.
But then do they really need realtor or FRIs to do the buying and selling real estate? That's the question comes to my mind. If you can throw any figures in the market and people can start bidding on it. I think it has to do with ethics and morals and issues and competency. Because of this environment, they have a difficulty. They should be using FRIs to calculate the value of a property, which is very close to realistic value. Because when you are getting a deal now and OFC rules apply after June and price goes down for some reason, who's going to cover the gap? And that is the concern of this. People are putting unconditional offers, no mortgage condition, no appraisal condition, no inspection condition, which is the minimum requirement to be a prudent and competent professional. So these are the challenges. We will talk about in maybe next episode because we're almost complete our. If anybody want to say anything right now, go ahead and please, 5 minutes, we can close the program. Anybody, please feel free to say anything.
I agree with you, Tahir, on the pricing. Agents are just playing games so that they can say that they got $300,000 over asking and they're a superstar. Well, I would love to see the banks take the position that if you list it for $800,000 and it sells for 1.1, Well, they're going to give financing based on 800,000, and that will smarten those guys up in a hurry.
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen. I think it's a free market, and by saying that, I can sell my house, my car, my motorcycle, my bicycle for whatever I want. I can ask whatever I want. I can use any strategy I want as long as it's legal. Quite honestly, that's the way we are. We are used to going to Loblaws and pick stuff up. It's a set price and that's it. Go to European market and buy a kilo of pears, and you'll see what happens. There's always a bit of an adjustment. I personally, I vote for the free market system, and I don't think it has anything to do with knowledge of the market, of someone misinterpreting the value of a house. They list it for a low price, so they get multiple offers.
They're playing games. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, so where do you stop it? Where do you start infringing someone's right to be able to sell their property? So that I think there's a big danger in that.
See, Fabio, what happened is in 2019 also, when people were closing the property 3-4 months down the line, they took the risk. They didn't put escape clause. They didn't put the property sale of the property, and they bought a higher price in a competition. And then bank decided not to finance the entire amount that was approved because they have a condition in their agreement. They can make an appraisal and make an adjustment anytime before funding the deal.
Yeah,
and lots of people got into trouble. There was a breach of contract. Lawyers have a lot of business.
That's where the knowledge of the broker or the agent representing the buyer comes into play. In other words, warning the buyer that is not knowledgeable that there's a risk. And if you do it like this, you don't have a condition that you can back out, you could be in trouble. That's where the knowledge of the broker or the broker comes into play. Insofar as the broker listing for less, that's common practice. We've been doing it for the last 10 years. But insofar as people getting in trouble because they made an offer that's firm and they can't get the financing, so now they're going to lose their $20,000, $30,000 deposit. No, that's the way things work.
Well, anyway, it's a discussion that we will continue in our next episode. Our next meeting is scheduled for May 19 at 11 a.m. Idea of, as you know, mentioned is that we want to connect with each other, build our rapport, and I am very committed to referring my clientele to fellow FRIs anywhere in Canada. We are Ontarians, we can only practice in Ontario. If we have a client that is going out of the city where we cannot reach, for example, Ottawa, our family in Ottawa, we will refer our client to FRI in Ottawa. We can take a little piece of pie, this is a part of the referral program, or anywhere in Canada. And the idea is to connecting, building a relationship. The real estate business is based on trust, bonding relationship. And we can blindly, because we are all FRI, we follow the same ethic and professional standards. So we are very comfortable to referring our client to each other. So that is the goal of it, to connecting each other, getting to know each other, and doing business with each other. On behalf of Realty Coffee Talk, I thank you very much for all participating. I appreciate and value your time. So I'm looking forward to see you on May 19 and 11 a.m. I will upload this program maybe in a couple of hours to the YouTube and share with you. And please join our FRI network that we have. Also, Toronto chapter AGM is on 28 May. Please connect. It's a virtual meeting. And also join Connect REIC, because that's the national connectivity Facebook is. Thank you very much. Have a good day on behalf of Realty Coffee Talk. We wish you all the best, and may God bless Canada. Thank you.
Can I add something to you to what you just said, Tahir? I'm so glad that you invited everybody to our AGM on the 28th. Please do join us. There's something else that our chapter does, and it's informative. It's educational. We invite people to talk about their experiences and what they do. We have Realty Corner on May 13th at 5 o'clock. Do join us. It's informative, and you're welcome to participate. Thank you again. Thank you,
Thank you
Tahir.
very much.
Great,
Thanks,
great
Fabio.
Thank
to do this.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye for
Bye.
now.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye,
Tahir.
everyone.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Good to see everybody.